Morning, beautiful people. This is Bread from the beach, standing down here under a grove of incredible looking oak trees, a whole grove of them. I mean, it's just beautiful. And I'm reminded of the fact that God created all of this, and He created it for our enjoyment. I remember as He spoke to Adam and Eve, He said, look, be fruitful, multiply, tend this, take care of it, take dominion over it. And what He was asking them to do was to embrace who they were and to care for His creation as He intended. What happened, we know, in the garden was that Eve was deceived, and so was Adam, and out of that was born a spirit of rebellion where folks simply rejected God's mandate that they had two trees there in the garden. One was the tree of life, and the other one was a tree where if they ate of it, that they would be positioned to know the difference between good and evil. And the heart of the Father was that He wanted a family that would know Him and know His goodness and know His grace and His righteousness, that they would walk in perfection with Him, that they would have a life that was full and abundant in the garden that He prepared. But in order for them to love Him as He needed and wanted to be loved, they had to have the choice not to. So when Eve was presented with the tree over there where if she ate of it, she would then be able to determine the difference between good and evil. When she ate of it, what she brought into this realm was a thing we call sin, which really is choosing something other than what God has said, choosing something contrary to the nature of God. And you and I are faced with that every day. We've read the book, most of us, we've talked about it, we've heard sermons, but ultimately it comes down to the bottom line for each one of us. Are we going to choose life and light, or are we going to just choose our own way, to want what we want when we want it for our own purposes? Or are we going to seek the face of God and hear His heart and hear His desire and design for His family, and then obey what we hear? Or are we just going to go our own way? And I got to tell you, we're faced in our society right now where people are having to deal with this every day. This choice of, am I going to get in line with what God says, or am I going to choose to go my own way? I pray that each of us throughout this day will be cognizant of the love of God in our hearts and the Word of God, so that we can hear His voice, obey what He says, and walk in the fullness and the abundance that our Daddy has for us. This is Bread from the Beach. Be blessed. Have a